keep trying to find a way to put all of those thoughts that are swirling around in my head into some sort of coherent, I don't know, argument. Or is it weird that me trying to get like my thoughts across, the first kind of word to frame that in that comes to mind for me is an argument, which is interesting. But I guess it's not that, I don't know, it's not that not unfitting, because there is like an internal conflict. So maybe argument, I don't know, is an okay or not too far off way to describe the way that I want to, what I want to say, what I want to express, what I want to utter. So I've been thinking a lot about, I don't know, this week's full moon. Anyone else been struggling with this week's full moon? So it was a full moon in Libra this week on Thursday. And as full moons tend to do, it brought up a lot of stuff. And I've also been thinking a lot about Saturn, because the stuff that this week's full moon brought up was a lot to do with, or like actually brought my sister and me into a lot of conversation and childhood wound processing. And it's her first Saturn return. She just entered her Saturn return. And I've honestly, ever since I learned about Saturn return and like kind of learned to frame what was happening to me over the last 2.5 years on the Saturn return, I've been worried for her, or like I've been like, poor her. Yeah, I don't know. Really, alles good. Like, even though I definitely am very grateful for everything that my Saturn return has shaken up in my life, it was still anything but fun. So, yeah, I was just like, poor her. It's yeah, I was kind of worried for her. Even, yeah, I don't know, can't explain it, but so yeah, we've been dealing with some family stuff with, and I've been in a bit of a daze for a couple of days. I feel like I've kind of climbed my way out again, and I feel more grounded in the presence in the present again. Like, I feel that for the most part my 31-year-old self is in charge again. Compared to the last couple of days, where all kinds of younger versions of me seem to be steering the wheel. Yeah, just because of some family stuff that's come up, and I've been thinking a lot about, like, yeah, grief, and trying to, and like also like noticing how, like, what I've learned about grief, and how that makes such a huge difference in how I'm able to engage with family stuff, and in comparison to my sister, yeah, I'm really, I don't know, I'm really so grateful for what I've been learning over the last couple of years when it comes to holding difficult emotions and like feeling my feelings, um and how kind of learning to hold hard and big and uncomfortable emotions um has been so freeing, because it's allowed me to not always try like to solve a problem. Like it's allowed me to really step back from feelings of urgency, um because yeah, like that, like because I'm my body is learning that we're we're capable of holding difficult emotions. And so whenever um conflict and comes up, um the first, like I'm able to, yeah, I don't immediately have to take responsibility or feel responsible for solving the uh, uh, solving the problem, or getting rid of the source of my discomfort, because a lot of the time that's it's just not possible. And this urgent need to try and get rid of the source of the discomfort, of the distress, is just adding more distress, and it's like it makes you feel insane. Or at least me, like, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, it might not be as all encompassing and overwhelming of a feeling or experience for everyone as it is for me. I don't know. I will never know what it what it's like to be in someone else's body. Um I'm only just learning what it means to be in mine, really. Or in this one. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've been yeah, ever since I've been feeling a bit clearer. um so I had a really long conversation with my sister yesterday, that initially when she called me, I was really dreading it, because I didn't feel like it was gonna solve anything. I was scared that I was gonna get pulled back into the storm, into the fog. But I managed to communicate to her how I've been feeling and how it's been making me feel foggy. And yeah, and her being in therapy really helps. Her being in therapy and being committed to her own like growth and well-being, um and stuff, is just really, yeah, that feels, that yeah, that's so cool. And I think it makes sense that I was distrustful of it. um because that's not my experience with my family for the most part. um mm, yeah, and I've just been noticing all of these parallels and connections, um between having dreams and desires and grief and reality and delusion. And I don't know, I'm yeah, uh I don't think I'm quite, like, I think I have to I want to journal about this. I want to write poetry about this to, yeah, to be able to verbalize it better. But yeah, I don't know. I am also verbalizing things right now. Like, just because I'm not able to like be super specific or eloquent about it doesn't mean I'm not talking about it, or I'm not verbalizing it, or I'm not saying anything, or that I don't know anything. And there's still value in this stage. And I've been thinking about, or I've been wanting to get back into making videos. I just don't really know how. I've been like, I feel like every other week or so at least I've had an idea that I filmed as well, but I've just never uploaded it. And that's kind of, but that's kind of that's that's what it is to make videos. You do kind of have to, I mean, you don't have to do anything, but the thing that I want to do is, yeah, kind of somehow communicate my thoughts, or I don't know. And I just currently, I don't, this is the form in which things come out. And maybe I just have to let things be bad, let this be bad, or like just low effort and discombobulated, and that's okay, and it's still allowed to exist. It's still allowed to, like, my thoughts, and I'm allowed to exist in between shapes, and kind of in shapes that are not very legible. Yeah, there's there's no shame in not being legible. And there's value in the in between, and in all stages of life and formation. So yeah. Thank you for listening to whatever this was. I'm just gonna, you know what, before I go, I'm just gonna have a drink of water and invite you to have one too. Okay, I'll see you.